Hello and welcome to the third part of my cacti collection tour. The first one was about my desert cacti, and the second one, which was the first part of my epiphytic collection tour, was about the tribe called Rhipsalidae, and it was dedicated to the Rhipsalis. And in this part we'll talk about Hathoria, Schlumbergera and lepismium, as well as Hylocereus tribe. So we'll start from Schlumbergera, and as you can see, I'm continuing the numbering of my plants where I left off in the first part of my epiphytic collection tour. As I said, it was about Rhipsalis. And I've got quite a few of Schlumbergera, Thanksgiving cacti of different colors, flowers, as well as Rhipsalidopsis, Easter cactus, and true Christmas cactus. So I already made a video how I care about them, and also comparing them, so check them out either in the description box or the link up above. Now I've got only one specimen of Hathoria, which is commonly known as well as dancing bones, because as you can see, the stems, they look kind of funny, they are thin, and would you agree that they resemble bones? So this one hasn't flowered for me yet, so hopefully this year, fingers crossed. Now lepismium. So I've got a few of them in my collection, and this one is Lepismium bolivianum, or it's been classified now as Vifera. What's interesting is that it had quite a lot of flowers, but only, as you can see, one fruit. I will show you the flowers a bit later on. And what's funny as well is that the grower put the name as Rhipsalis Holivianum, but I think it's just a trade name, because when I was looking on Google or on rhipsalis.com, there's no plant of this name, and it looks like Lepismium bolivianum. Anyway, so the flowers are kind of white with yellow throat and a pink underside of the petals, and they are quite big. Really gorgeous flowers, and it produced quite a lot of them. Here we've got another lepismium, cruciform or cruciformis, and this one produces white and pink flowers. So I normally keep this one indoors. I don't put it out in the garden in summer, because it's hanging by east window, so it gets plenty of sunshine, and in fact it's usually sun stressed, so it's got this purple or red color. So now in winter, where there's less sunshine coming through, it reverts a bit to its green color, which is a bit kind of shock for me to see green instead of red stems. It grows really fast. I got just one stem of my friend, and you can see yourself that it sprouted out a few more, and it flowers abundantly as well. Now on to the next one. And here in one pot there are two plants, in fact, where they were when I was filming. So most of those videos and photos, they are from August, September. So here we've got Lepismium hulitianum with its characteristic teethed stems, and next to it there was some Epiphyllum without any ID, but now I separated them. It already flowered, and if you want to see more flowers of this plant, check out the video that I've already made. So the one which you've just seen, I think it was Lepismium hulitianum from Regnelii. And this one is another one, so I got it in a bit state, and again it was labeled as lepismium, but as you can see it looks totally different to the previous one, so it might be either wrong label or it's totally different form. If you know, let me know in the comment. And this beautiful plant here is called Lepismium floribundum, which suggests that it should flower in abundance. And in fact, as you can see, it was peppered with buds, and they all opened and they are stunning. In fact, this lepismium is closely related to Lepismium cruciform, which you've already seen, but there are differences in its flowers. The flowers are bigger, and also the plant itself, the stems are bigger than of Lepismium cruciforum. And look at those beautiful flowers, again white and pink, just stunning. Now when it comes to care, I've already described my care regime in the first video when I was talking about my Rhipsalis. So I usually care in general about my epiphyllum and all those plants that you see here, the same way as I care for Rhipsalis. Now here we've got just small cuttings, rooted cuttings of Epiphyra, and that concludes the tribe Rhipsalidae. So let's talk about the tribe Hylocereus, that I think I've got most of those genuses listed here, apart from the last one. Whereas when it comes to Gymnatia, I think this is how you pronounce it, for some reason I already talked about it in the previous episode. So here I've got only one author-Konstantin, but I've got a few epiphyllums. So the first one here is this gorgeous Sarah Courant. Although it didn't bloom for me last year, but it produced a lot of new growth, as you can see. So again, as I always say, hopefully this season or next season it will flower for me. Now here is some hybrid, and again when I got it, it was just the main stem, but all those side shoots that you can see, they are brand new. As the name suggests, the flowers should be of yellow, kind of gold color. So, come on spring, roll on spring, I want to see buds and flowers. Now here we've got Epiphyllum noid. It's not the proper name, it just means that there's no identification, so I just got it this one stem, and then it produced this one long thin stem, which means that it may not have received enough light, so I'm going to move it to a bit brighter position. Now here we've got curly locks, or properly known as Epiphyllum guatemalense for monstrose. And I'm so happy that last year it flowered, because until that time it had produced some buds, but they would usually got black and drop off. But finally last summer it showed me its gorgeous yellow gold flowers. So there were 4 buds, but 3 really opened, and as you can see they are stunning. So this variety produces smaller flowers, and usually epiphyllums are called as well orchid cacti due to their huge blossoms. So stay tuned for upcoming video where I'm going to show you its fruit and talk about more this plant, and also I'm going to sow some seeds. So if you are a subscriber, if not, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, so it will let you know when the new video is available to watch. Here we've got this cactus nelsonii. So this is the first that I got. As you can see, only 3 stems. And then I bought another one. And also this one. You can see here a few more stems growing. So these are cactus and epiphyllum. You will find that sometimes I put both names because the plants have been transferring from one category to another one. Like for instance this one, epiphyllum, or this cactus Ackermani. And epiphyllum means upon the leaf, which refers to how flowers spring from the branches. As you know, they are not leaves, but just stems or branches. And you could see how fabulous it bloomed for me last season. And here we've got Epiphyllum red tip, which I got from Garden Center at discounted price. And what's been said on one of Facebook groups was that it's a trade name. There's no botanical name red tip, and that in fact it could be again Epiphyllum Ackermani. So here you've got comparison. I think the stems, they look a bit different. Well, we'll see when it flowers. Or it might be just some kind of hybrid. Who knows, because epiphyllums are heavily hybridized. And I think this one here, everybody knows this one, fishbone or zigzag or rickrack. Here again you've got its proper name. So when I was filming at the time in summer, I had 4 of them. And this one to the right I left in my greenhouse over winter, and unfortunately, despite the plants were protected, as you know, I've lost some plants, and one of them, sad to say, was this epiphyllum. So now I've got 3 of them. So I don't usually have duplicates, but this one I just love because of those characteristic stems. Here's another one that I've got, and as you can see, it looks similar, but the stems seem a bit bigger, and these were when I just got a plant for my shop, and some stems got detached, so I put them all together in a pot and then waited for them to root, which took no time at all. And I knew it was rooted because it started to produce those new stems and also area roots. And as well, when I was gently pulling the stems, there was some resistance. And now here something similar, but it's Selenicereus antonianus, which is quite difficult to tell them apart, to be honest. So here you've got both side by side. So what's the difference? In Selenicereus, the blooms are pink, whereas in Epiphyllum anguillier, they are white. Also, when the plant is mature, the Selenicereus stems are usually much bigger in comparison to of epiphyllums, and also the teeth are longer versus more rounded scallops on the epiphyllum. Also, epiphyllum will prefer a bit lower temperatures in winter and a bit shadier position in summer, whereas Selenicereus prefers warmer temperatures in winter, and it can tolerate, when acclimatized, full sun in summer. Now here we've got another Epiphyllum bivetae, because the name refers to its big stems which appear to resemble beaver's tail. So it should produce again a big white flower, we'll see. And again I had it in summer hanging on the tree, and it grew quite fast. Also had some unrooted stems for 2 years now, and it produced a few new growths, including this thin one, which again might be indicative of not receiving enough light, so I need to move it to a new position. Here it's Epiphyllum German Empress, and there was another proper name for it, which I'm rooting. And another one which is my favorite, again selenicereus or Epiphyllum, also known as fern leaf cactus, because the branches indeed resemble ferns. So this one is said to be a shy bloomer, so we'll see, but at least it has produced quite a few new growths for me. Generally speaking, epiphyllums are quite heavy feeders, but I'm going to prepare a separate video about how I fertilize my cacti, so stay tuned. Now let's talk about selenicereus again. So here we've got 2 of them. So the first one is grandiflorus, also known as Queen of the Night, although a disclaimer here, you may find that the same name is applied to Epiphyllum oxypatellum. So this is the trouble with common names. Anyway, as you can see, mine has produced quite a lot of aerial roots, which may indicate that it wants to climb to get more sunlight. But I think it looks quite quirky with so many of them. You can trim them if you like, but I think it gives they give this plant some charm, so I'm not going to do it. And it's one of the faster growing, I think, plants as well. And as you can see, I've got quite a lot of new stems. And grandiflorus, because it should produce a huge white scented flower. And next to it is another selenicereus. I keep both of those plants indoors because I once put this one outside and I thought I acclimatized, but apparently not, because you can see all those kind of rustic in color, this discoloration. So this is a sunburn. And again, fast grower, and it produces again lots of area roots, which are just fantastic, I think. And I love this plant, but it's a mealybug magnet, I think. I can find quite a lot of nasties on this one, so I'm constantly battling those pests. Now the next plant, as you can see, I haven't put the number because this one is supposed to be Wilcoxia, but somebody told me that it looks like selenicereus, so I'm not 100% sure what it is. If it was Wilcoxia, then it's another name for Echinocereus, which is anyway epiphytic cactus. So we'll see if it's going to bloom. Unfortunately, I left it in the greenhouse when there was cold, and it looks a bit worse for wear, but hopefully it will bounce back now when I brought it back indoors. So fingers crossed it will do fine. And another one here, which is the only poro cactus in my collection, and it's growing really nicely with new growths. You may know this one as red tail cactus. And before I show you my last one in the collection, I hope you enjoyed this film, so give me a thumb up, and I welcome any comments. So my last one that I'm going to show you is selenicereus, which I have to admit I've got a few problems with this one. I seem not to be able to make it happy, whatever position it is placed. And it's got proper potting mix, but still it seems to me that the stems are a bit weak. It gets enough water. I think there are no pests, but it seems not to be thriving as it should. It has got a few new growths, but I'm not 100% sure it's happy. So if you've got any advice, any tips, please let me know in the comment box. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.